This rod right here is half of the price of this one. And I'm going to tell you why. They're almost the same exact thing. Selecting a fishing rod and reel with all the different products out there in the market is one of the hardest choices for newer anglers to do, even anglers of any experience level, right? Everybody uses different brands, everybody uses different stuff. For me, the first thing I'm going to look for when I'm trying to select a rod is this going to be a technique specific rod, right? Am I looking for a frogging rod? Am I looking for a chatterbait rod? And once I've kind of decided those things, I'm going to go and look at the blanks, right? Something relatable, and then work from there. So what I've done, I've grabbed 3 separate rods. We have this rod here. We have this rod here. This is a $100 rod. And then we have this rod, which is right around 70 bucks. You can get these 3 for $100 sometimes through ARC, but it is their lower end rod. What is the difference between these 3? And I will tell you, the first thing I look for with any rod is the blank. Is it a solid blank that I can use? Have I caught fish on it? So I did a video a while back reviewing the ARC Catalyzer, $70 budget rod, and I caught all of my personal bests on this. Caught an 8.6, some 7s, wrapped me in pads, and it's held up tremendously. So I looked up the blank, so I know that's a solid blank, right? So there's a little more, refinement that I wanted. This is EVA foam, not really a fit and finish grip and reel seat, right? And the tie down is a little different. And then you have your line guides. These are a little bigger, they're not micro guides. So what I look for, I know this blank is good, right? So go to the site, check what other rods have the same blank, and then we'll compare them. And that's what I did. So we're going to break down all 3, and I'll show you the difference in what your price is. A lot of companies, they utilize the same blank for multiple different rods. And what you're going to get with your price jump is the extra pieces. Your EVA foam versus cork handles, your reel seats, your micro guides, epoxy on the blanks, a little more fit and finish look, right? Is that worth the money? To some people, cosmetics are, but for me, I want a functional rod at the lowest price I can get, because if I break it, it's easy to replace it, and I can build a whole lineup around it and get technique specific, and it just suits me better. So you're gonna see right off the gate, things are a little different reel seat. EVA foam's a little more refined, right? But it's still the same exact blank. When you go down to 100, blank still looks nice and finished. Line guides are not. The line guides actually have ceramic inserts, right? So they're a little more improved than the aluminum guides. Cork handle, reel seat's a little nicer, right? So $100. So from the base to $100, you get different line guides, EVA foam, right, and a different reel seat. But if you're absolutely on a budget, you have the same blank in the $70 rod. But a lot of these manufacturers will use the same blank on all their different series of rods up to a cap, right? And all they're doing is improving the grips. You can see the eyelets here, aluminum inserts, a little more abrasive, right? They can maybe corrode. So when you're looking to pick a rod to start, or even to change what you're trying, the whole point of this is check the blanks, right? If from 70 to 100, you're getting a whole new blank, a better blank, 30 bucks, yeah, probably worth it. But when you're looking at that $70 to $150 range and it's all the same blank, you really have to decide for yourself, do I really like camo EVA foam, or do I want the best reel seat and eyelets I can get on the same blank for $150, almost double the price? So me personally, I prefer to stay as budget friendly as I can. One, so I can make content for you guys showing that you don't have to have $400 rods to be successful, right? To be able to handle those fish. Now, obviously, there are some other factors that play in with manufacturers. Weight of the rod, right? For me, it all boils down to, is the blank a good blank? If the answer is yes, do I want micro guides? The answer is yes, and I want a little more comfortable reel seat, I'm gonna pay a little more. But if it's something that I'm just flipping in the cover with, if it's something that I'm using very sporadically for a technique maybe I don't use so much, I can get the same blank for cheaper and not worry about the durability of the rod itself. So I hope that helps. I mean, I know looking for rods and shopping around can be really difficult when you're first starting. Everybody has a brand, everybody, you know, makes content. Oh, I only use this. But for me, it all boils down to the blank, and then I'll pay extra for the nuances of the grips and stuff like that. If it's a big deal, if it's a rod I'm throwing all of the time. Now, again, I do work with ARC. So I'm not going to drop any of this stuff in the description. I know it's really difficult when you get started, and I even dive down the rabbit hole all the time looking at rods and, oh man, I want to try that one. That looks really cool. But when you back up a little bit and you look at, okay, is this $200 rod built on the same blank as a 70? What am I looking for here? Am I looking for a solid blank that's going to handle what I'm doing? Or am I looking for the rod that the IG photo is going to like because it's shiny and pretty? That's up to you to decide. But as far as breaking down the blanks, breaking down the rods, that's what I look for. And as a newer angler, I hope you guys took something out of this. Read descriptions on the sites, look at the blanks, look at the fine details of the parts in the rod. Because a lot of times you're going to be paying double for the same thing if you're just looking for a solid and durable rod to get you out on the water and haul in big fish.